how to grow your clinic confidently and reliably. I'm going to show you how we scale clinics without the guesswork and with predictability. I'll break down our proven framework to not only acquire patients, but also retain them, increasing your average patient value. To really grow your clinic with confidence, we need a system for revenue growth, we need a system for patient acquisition and retention. Having a reliable system for these is so essential to scale your clinic. We understand the challenges when it comes to running a clinic. We speak to multiple clinic owners every single week. And when we speak to these owners, we understand that operations are so tough when it comes to a clinic. Whether that's hiring, whether that's delegation, whatever it is, we understand that it's really, really tough to operate a clinic. That's why if you don't have a system that fuels your growth on the front end, you can never scale, because there's going to be too much focus on trying to get people in that your operations will fall. So it's just so important to have a predictable system that requires minimal work on your part so that you can focus on your operations, so you can hire the right people, and so you can scale. So just getting systems in place to ensure revenue growth occurs is so important. After working with many, many clinics over the last 2 years, we've developed our internal system to help clinics grow with confidence and scale without the fear of expansion. When we spoke to our partners and when we spoke to other clinic owners, we found out that a lot of people had the fear of scaling because without a reliable system, they don't know if their employees' calendars will be full next week, next month, or next year. That's why we developed the RFM Growth System, which helps you have reliability within your clinic so that there's no fear of scaling. If you have consistent people coming in, booking up your employees' calendars, you're going to have no fear of just getting another employee, opening up another location. So it's so important to have an actual proven system in place. All the system requires is a simple 3-step process. Once you systemize and nail each step, you'll have a highly profitable clinic and you'll have a growth engine behind your clinic to let you scale with reliability. So, as I said, it's a 3-step process. Step number 1 is front-end acquisition. Step number 2 is lead conversion. And step number 3 is nurture for lifetime value. If we get a system and a process for these 3 steps, you'll be able to grow your clinic without the fear of expansion. You'll be able to grow your clinic, hire more people, take some work off your shoulders, and really grow to where you want to get to. It's not about working every day if you're a business owner. It's about having a system and an operation behind you to fuel your growth. So this is what the RFM Growth System does for you. Step number 1, as I said, is front-end acquisition. This is all about being seen by the right people. Okay, we need a predictable system for letting people know about your services. This could be through Google Ads, this could be through Facebook ads, or it could be through any local marketing platform. My tip is to kind of do a bit of research and see what your competitors are doing and maybe mirror it a little bit, but there's lots of strategies I can go into in another video on what platform will be best to get your services out to the right people. The goal of this is to target your ideal customer profile and bring them into your ecosystem. This step isn't about getting them as a patient. It's just about getting them aware of your business, getting them into your ecosystem, getting their email, getting their phone number, getting their first name and last name. Once we have this information, the rest is easy. This is just the first step, is getting seen and getting contact information for the right people. Step number 2 is lead conversion. It's about converting these leads into booked patients. After getting their details, okay, there's no point in letting them sit there, okay? It's about actually getting them into paying patients, okay? So let's get a process in place to actually get them booked in. We think the method matters less than just having the system in place. We don't want to be chopping and changing how we're getting people booked in. We want one system that anybody can do so that you don't have to be in the day-to-day business. You can just hire someone to do this for you. You can let the receptionist do it or whatever. We just need a predictable system in place to do it. Our recommendations for booking leads into patients kind of depends on what size you're at. Okay, when we consult with clinics, The first question is like, how many employees do you have and what revenue do you do? Okay, typically, if you're a small clinic, like one to three employees, we recommend calling each lead manually. Okay, you want to roughly diagnose their situation. So if it's back pain they have, you want to, diagnose that situation and then book them directly into your calendar yourself. You're too small to get these automations in place. You're too small to rely on the receptionist to book them in. If you want to grow at the start, you want to be able to call each lead manually and book them in. And you should have the time to do this if you're on the lower end. Okay, if you're only starting out or your clinic is small, you should have the time to, call each lead manually and book them in. This is going to be the most effective way to get patients into your business at the very start. If you're a larger clinic, you're going to have to think a little bit more on how you want to convert leads into booked patients. Okay, we can kind of do two things here. We can hire an appointment setting agency. There's lots of agencies out there that will pay per appointment. So you can hire them. Anytime a lead comes into your CRM, they'll call them and they'll book them into your clinic and they charge per patient. This can be very effective. Obviously, if you're a larger clinic, you don't have time to call each lead manually. So this takes the work off your hands. It also doesn't rely on the receptionist to call the leads. We all know the receptionist isn't a trained salesperson. And calling leads and booking them in will take sales skills. So Sally at reception isn't going to be the best fit to call these leads. So an outsourced call center is ideal. Another thing we can do, if you don't like the appointment setting agency option, is we can use automations and patients can just book in themselves. I know everyone would like the ideal world where someone becomes a lead and they just go to your website and they book in. That's realistically not going to happen. It might happen for 10% of leads, but it's not going to happen for all of them. So if we can use automations to remind people to book, to give them offers, to talk about free consultations, whatever you offer, we can just put in email and SMS automations in place and we're seeing about a 50% conversion rate. Okay, so it's effective. It's really effective. This it creates scalability and reduces any dependence on reception staff or any staff in particular. If we have an automation in place where we have an email going out, an SMS message going out, and we have follow-ups in place, automatically put their first name in, automatically sign off with your business name, etc., we can get them booked in automatically. And that requires no more money on your part, and it also doesn't require any of your team's time, which is so important. The third step, okay, is nurture for lifetime value. I'm so passionate about this step because I really do believe all the money is made on the back end. It's not about getting the ideal cost per lead, and it's not about having the most efficient lead to booked patient ratio. All that's important, but all of it becomes less important if we're maximizing the amount of revenue we're getting from each patient. Okay, the way we look at it is CPMs and cost per clicks are always going to rise. It's just a fact. Facebook, Google, and other advertising platforms will always charge more to get a customer. So your customer acquisition cost will always go up. That's why it's crucial to get the most out of each patient. We want to use systems that get patients to return again and again and again, whether that's through automations or through the internal day-to-day operations. And we also want to encourage referrals with just simple referral programs. Nothing complicated here. To drive the point home and to really explain why lifetime value is so important, I'm going to break down a quick example. Let's say your current APV is 3 sessions by €60. That means your average patient value is 180. Okay, fairly profitable, but if you have customer acquisition costs on the back end, this will become less and less profitable as the CPMs and CPCs rise. So your average patient value right now is 180. But if we can get a system in place that brings your patients from 3 sessions to 6 sessions, we have just doubled the amount you make per customer. We brought it from 180 to 360. And that's what we've done this with very, very simple systems. It's just about a few emails and a few SMS automations. That's it. And on top of that again, okay, if we have a referral program, okay, and we get 50% of patients to refer a patient, that brings your average patient value up again to 540. Okay, so with a referral program in place and with a nurture system in place to get them to return, we've brought your average patient value from 3 sessions to 6 sessions, and we've gotten them to refer someone. So the average patient value goes from 180 to 540. You've just 3x'd your average patient value. Installing these two simple systems that might take you a day and a half to build, you have brought your average patient value from 180 to 540, a 3x increase in profitability per patient. This has so many positive implications throughout your business. As I said previously, if CPMs and CPCs rise overnight and your patient acquisition cost goes from €30 to €60, this could put most people out of business. It will drain their marketing budget and they won't have consistent patients coming to them because they just can't afford it. If they're making 180 on the back end and the patient acquisition cost doubles, there's not a chance you can afford that. It just won't be profitable for you. But if we install these systems in place and we bring it from 180 to 540, we can now afford that. We can outspend your competition and we have no stress if the customer acquisition cost rises. Although it's not ideal, it doesn't put us out of business and it gives us predictability and it gives us time to be able to lower this with new strategies and get more patients in consistently. So nurturing for lifetime value is so important, and it's just so important to get these simple systems in place. If anyone wants to see our actual systems we use within clinics right now, send me an email. I'll have my email and my call link below, and you can just book a call with me and I'll bring it through for free. I've kept this video very short, okay, and I haven't gone into too much detail, okay, because this is a system we use for clinics, and these clinics we partner with. So I can't really reveal every single strategy we use, but I can give you the holistic view on what the RFM Growth System can do for you and what the rough process entails. We work with 15 partners at a time, okay? So we partner with 15 clinics to help them install the system. We help them grow with confidence, grow reliability, and remove the fear of expansion. We offer written guarantees to make it risk-free for any clinic to invest, okay? If you're serious about growing your clinic confidently and reliably, book a call with me in the description below, okay? If you qualify for our offer, I'll explain absolutely everything we'll do for your business, and we'll also install this written guarantee that makes it risk-free for you to invest. So as I said, down below, it'll be the first line in the description. You'll have direct access to my calendar. You can book in and we can have a quick chat. This won't be a sales call. You can leave your credit card at home. It will just be a quick chat where we can see if we can help your business. If we can, we'll take that to another call where we'll show you exactly what we can do for your business. So book a call below and we'll chat soon.